power ground, and then this white one will be the signal. So the flex fuel sensor will sit over here. So these will be, you know, they'll lay across here. So that'll give you a rough idea of how it's laid out.
What's going on, you guys? Charlie and Dalen here from MAPerformance with another video of MAPTV, where we bring you the behind the scenes of what's happening here at the shop. Today, you guys are gonna be with Tyler and follow Tiny around as he works on a flex fuel kit for the Evo 10. Now, I don't know a whole lot about what we're going for with designing the product, but I'm sure you could tell us all about that.
Absolutely. Number one, I want to compliment you on your Tyler and Tiny tongue twister.
Yeah.
That was really good. Like, I heard you enunciate all real good, nice, so that's kind of cool. As far as the flex fuel kit goes, yeah, so the whole goal is as OEM integration as possible, so everything's gonna be plug and play. There'll be no splicing, cutting. So
easy to install,
exactly.
Sounds good to me.
So easy to install, it's like we have a theme here.
Right.
And then we'll utilize most of the common tuning softwares. We'll be able to access where we're hijacking the OEM inputs.
Okay.
So that, like the Tactrix cable, Evo scan, stuff like that, we'll be able to tune the car for flex fuel. And for anyone that might not know what flex fuel is, it means that you can fill up with E85 or pump gas as in 91 or 93, or anywhere in between. The ECU is going to compensate for that. Obviously, someone has to tune the car to do so. You can't just plug it in and then run it.
You guys, again, are going to be following Tiny around, as this is not just like a quick couple hour thing that we can have done. Obviously, there's other things that we also have to do. So
yeah, and you don't want me working on a car, so like
fair enough.
That's not going to end well. Tiny's going to be the one that's kind of working on the harness. We're going to work on the prototype layout, kind of how we want to route, make sure everything's, you know, not stressed, make sure it's easy to put in.
Absolutely. Well, anyways, you guys will follow him around, and then we'll check in at the end of it to see how it goes.
Can you just put the Bronco body on this? Do we just pull the pins out and then swap the Lexan?
The answer is yes.
Dave, you know what would be cool in the back of here? A TY 250.
Yeah, well,
Damn, you're just doing truck stuff, huh?
I'm just getting my vehicles like, why are you recording?
Over here, I've got like a whole array of different connectors and some flying leads, and essentially the end goal, there's some other parts that aren't on my desk right now that will complete this, but this is gonna be in the car, and fuel is gonna run through this, and this little box is gonna do some magic and some math, and then it's gonna tell that Evo what the ethanol content is in the tank, and it's running through its veins, or its theoretical veins, being the fuel lines. So making this a plug and play kit where you don't have to modify anything. You pull it out of a box, you click some connectors, you click some fuel lines, and you're good to go. So that's kind of the goal with this doodad here. It's no free advertising. That's where you have to kind of spend a little bit of time of seeing, you know, where does everything go, and familiarize yourself with everything. And that's too, like, part of me having all these connectors is to make sure that it's the right connector. We already picked the sensors based on, you know, the community norms. Now it's just find the wiring diagram, so I make sure I pin them into the right terminals and not be a fool. So power. Question. So you had said something about a that flex fuel, the K-tuner flex fuel, or the 5-volt converter thing that you gave me. It's got flying leads, and you said, so I remember you saying something about another connector somewhere on your desk. I'm assuming you're just saying that's for the flex fuel. You have a flex fuel sensor connector somewhere.
So yeah, there should be parts. It took me a while to find, but I think that I have the shell and clips and pins and everything for that same connector, which I would rather use to verify it's the right part.
All right, well I got that. I got the bag. I don't know where the terminals are, but I got at least I can figure out if the connector works. Looks right.
I'm fairly sure they only stock the brown ones now. Don't know if they stock the black ones. The black ones are hard to get. Oh.
Doesn't look very hard to get.
So there's that one, and then go down, and then the brown one. Okay, okay. So we can do either one. Yeah. So
See, that one has the tabs on the outside, which is only for the brown.
Oh, they've been ground down.
Oh, okay, well, perfect.
There we go. So,
I was like, I don't know what these tabs you're talking about are, but now I see
yeah.
with the picture.
So you verified all the other connectors. They all work. They all do what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
Are you targeting having a harness today, or what? Where are you at?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the other thing too is I'm gonna have to figure out where to put this big stupid box, because I kind of found a place and then I realized it's exactly where my the hose routing is gonna go. So I think I might have to build the hose kit first, and then so that might make sense. Like having a harness, like a. And I'm gonna start with like an unsheathed harness and then depin it and then sheath it, or might even remake it.
Okay.
Just so I have like a one I can see everything and one that's like a finish, send this out kind of deal. So I think I figured out everything I need to know. My pinouts. I made a rough draft with improper symbols and whatnot for everything, but I marked my terminals, which one's power, to keep that straight in my head. Because obviously these are 2-pinned and they're not marked, so I could lose that easily. And I kind of know where everything else is gonna go, so now it's just kind of building a diagram and making sure everything actually works the way it's supposed to. On this episode of MAPTV, what will Kyle eat next? We've had Taco Bell, we've had the Boo. Maybe we'll get some pizza in the next episode. Tomorrow too, I'm gonna dyno Michael's RX-7 on lunch. We could take some videos of that. And he's gonna buy me lunch. I'm gonna make him buy me pizza. Well, I'm just seeing how I wanna route these wires. So the opening for the tank cover is right here, so we'll probably snake her down here, up and over the tank, and you gotta fish it through, probably up over the subframe, keep it away from anything. We can honestly just follow this, looks like a tank vent line, follow that to the money. I wish I had an extra one of these and I would just know how long I need to make the wire by following that. Something occurred to me that I just like have a lot of just random wire in here, like loose wire, and I could use nice smaller gauge wire for all these sensors. It's really low current, and it's just nice, like expensive wire for this. I have like a bunch of this O'Reilly's junk, and I'm just gonna use this to figure out how much of the nice stuff I need. That's what I wanted the string for, was to run that to give me like a rough idea of how much I need to cut before I cut it. But I need some tape, which always seems to be the hardest thing to find around here is tape. Oh God, this is like way too much. I think this is like a 30-foot spool or something like that. I can even use Tyler to my advantage because I'll be able to use his fancy light that he blinds me with. My hope or my idea is that the harness will just, you know, attach, probably with zip ties. That's honestly a good enough method to secure that. Zip tie it to the key-up line. Because if I don't have anything to attach it to, it can just fall wherever it wants. Fuselage bay under the seat so I can pull it all the way through. And I'll probably just cut it because it's scrap wire and like the length that I'm cutting it at will be long enough to reuse anyways, not a big deal. It's kind of like making its way around the tank weird, like pulling itself up over the tank when I pulled it through. And that's not exactly where I want it to go. You know what, I actually don't hate it, just running over the top of the tank, because I don't have to really worry about it. I kind of wanted it to come around the perimeter of the tank and then go up, but I think the way that it's now, this will end up being better. Zip tie there, zip tie it to the filler neck, and then like it's not going anywhere at that point. It's pretty secure to me. Obviously, like in an ideal world, you'd use those zip ties with the push clamps on the bottom of them and then like around the loom and then push it into body clips, but we don't exactly have the luxury of doing that, so you kind of got to do what you can work with. Probably include some double stick tape. The feed line that we included will kind of come around and do a loop around here, and then the flex fuel sensor will sit over here. I decided that I'll just go over top of this vent. Obviously this is a rubber hose, so it has a little bit of give. Because this box being so big, there's not a lot of places to put it, so give you some double-sided foam stick tape, stick it there. That way it's easy to get to. I think that's good. I was gonna, I don't know, I probably still could cut it, but I don't really want to. I might just mark it. Give it some slack, I don't know, like right there. It doesn't have to be super neat, just a marker. Like this edge right here will be where the cut will be. To pull all this back out. Needs to be from there to this edge. That's how long my power and ground need to be. Boom. So this is this whole harness here. So next we're gonna have to tackle the power splitter. This is our signal wire to the ECU. So this will use this connector and this pin position. This one's like the easiest part, so I'm gonna do that last. This is everything needed for the flex fuel sensor. We got 3 wires here and 3 pinouts here. So everything's there, just need to grab pins for this and wire that up. So once I have this, connectors on the end of this and it's done for that portion, well, like the rough draft, I guess you could say, like make sure everything works, then throw some heat sheathing on it. So, is there any changes I want to make, or am I happy with it? And then it'll be the end design. But so far, I'm real happy with it. Yeah, I really used I'm still not great, but I used to suck really hard at crimping, which sounds kind of weird. That's something that you could be bad at, but I would just always mess up somehow and either not get a good crimp, or it would be goofy and not go into the connector. Look at that, and then it just slides in nice. Dummy. Look at that. These 3 will be for the flex fuel sensor. So power ground, and then this white one will be the signal. So the flex fuel sensor will sit over here. So these will be, they'll lay across here, kind of snake them around, and then this one yellow one will go to, this is popped out of the way, but this will go to this brown terminal right there. That'll be that guy. So that'll give you a rough idea of how it's laid out. This is gonna be really funny if this is the same, this is the new feed line kit. It'll be really funny if this is the same. So that's pretty sick. Well, let's make sure that this fits. So I know we probably jumped around a little bit on this, but here's some showing you guys kind of most of the. This is the prototype almost done. Got this end done, so this is into the vent solenoid. This is what we're robbing power for, and then you have your sensor connector, and then this is the one that ultimately feeds the ECU. So I'm waiting for heat shrink for those, and then this will be a finished prototype, essentially, something we can figure out the manufacturing side of it, but we'll essentially use as the reference piece to mass produce this harness. So I know when we left off, we were kind of talking about the this feed hose. What we needed to do was use some adapter fittings to feed through here and into the sensor. So we needed to create a line for that. And something that I thought about is I just updated the fuel line kit for Evo X. That was the last project I was working on before this. So before it was just kind of two hoses that went wherever they wanted, and we made something that looks a lot cleaner. I think this is out, and this update should be released now. Maybe it will be by the time this video's out. So I thought about that hose and how it might be the perfect length, and I had two that I made up. So I tried it, and sure enough, it's literally the perfect length to fit in here. It followed the line exactly how I wanted. That cover slip fits on it with everything installed. And the great thing about that is that means that we're able to produce one line and stock one line for two kits instead of having multiple lines for multiple kits, which things work slower that way if you have to stock two different lines versus only having to stock one. So it kind of worked out perfect, and it was an ideal situation that we have one line that works for two kits, so we can just stock a whole bunch of them and ideally not run out. I know a lot of stuff for the Evo X just sells like hotcakes, so it's definitely nice when we can have a large quantity size of something, that way we don't run out, especially like this manifold. I know we run out of all the time, so Evo stuff goes like hotcakes, and just the ability to overstock something and not have to really worry because it goes to a couple different kits is a big plus. So I'm glad it worked out like that. So I guess as you guys can tell, I've got my earmuffs on. It's lunchtime for me today, and got a little car to play with on the dyno. It's actually one of our coworkers' cars. It's Michael's RX-7. It's a right-hand drive Savannah RX-7, full works, and he picked it up a couple months ago and asked me if I could throw it on the dyno for him and get some baseline pulls. So kind of what we're doing today. So I guess I just thought I'd show you what sometimes my lunch break looks like. This isn't a super frequent thing that I do, but somebody needs some help at the shop, I help them out, put the cars on the dyno and see how much you make. So I'll film us doing a couple pulls. So let's start this bad mamma jamma up. Looks like it made 230 that run. That's kind of what it's been making the whole time. So good to see consistent horsepower out of it. Something must have. 241, 213. Probably do one more and see if it matches that. Pretty warmed up. I'd say that's all the way warmed up. A nice cool day. That's probably all we'll do today. Definitely a pretty unique car. Haven't dynoed anything like it, really. Definitely not a Honda Civic like I'm used to strapping on here all the time.
All right, you guys, so that is going to wrap it up for today's video. As you guys saw, the Flex Fuel kit is coming along very nicely. Hopefully hitting the market as soon as possible. I don't want to put any dates on.
No, I'm not gonna say dates. I don't like that. People yell at me when I give dates.
Right, awesome. So anyways, you guys, if you're interested in any parts for your Evo 10, click the link in the description below where it'll take you right to our Evo 10 collections page. Also, if you are looking forward to this product hitting the market, we're curious to hear from you. Leave a comment down below if this is something that you would be interested in for your Evo 10.
Or if there's anything that you have input-wise, anything you'd like to see from a kit, things that you do want to pay for, things that you don't want to pay for. This is obviously something that's kind of a fluid product for us right now. We're trying to hit kind of all of the correct marks. So if there's something that you don't like about current available kits or something that you do like, we want to make sure we incorporate that.
Yeah, feedback is always appreciated. If you guys haven't already, be sure to give this video a huge thumbs up so we can keep delivering you content just like this. And if you haven't subscribed already, please be sure to do so. That's going to be the end of it for today. Peace.